pangalan. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino. Saludo ako sa kahusayan mo. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino. Saludo ako sa katapangan mo. Ako'y bilib sa'yo sa tatag na tagay mo. Angat ka sa iba pagkat ikaw ay Pilipino. Ako'y bilib sa'yo sa tatag na tagay mo. Angat ka sa iba pagkat ikaw ay Pilipino. Talino at abilidad at di ka pauli. Ang lahing Pilipino di dapat isang tabi. Magandang katangian, tumanang kayamanan. Kamatang Pilipino, pag-asa ka ng bayan. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino. Saludo ako sa kahusayan mo. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino. Saludo ako sa katapangan mo. Ano man pang subok ay handa mong harapin. Pagkat ika'y Pinoy at ay titiisin. Likas sa'yo ang pusong pagmamahal. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino. Saludo ako sa kahusayan mo. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino. Saludo ako sa katapangan mo. Ako'y bilib sa'yo sa tatag na tagay mo. Angat ka sa iba pagkat ikaw ay Pilipino. Ako'y bilib sa'yo sa tatag na tagay mo. Angat ka sa iba pagkat ikaw ay Pilipino.
Hello, good evening, happy Friday. I'm Lenny Yusay. I'm joining you from Pasig, your happy president. I've homeschooled my 3 kids for 8 years. To our parents and kababayans watching, please comment in the section where you are watching this episode from. Welcome back to episode 5 of Ask Happy FB Live. So let's talk about homeschooling. So episode 5 is, teka muna, paano nga ba mag-homeschool? Pa-DIY ba or provider? And joining me today are 2 of my beautiful colleagues in Happy. Let's welcome Beday and Au. Hi, ladies.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Lenny. Good evening, Peday.
Hi.
evening,
Introduce
Au.
yourself, please.
Okay, so sino mauuna? Ako na.
Yes.
Magandang gabi, mga kaibigan, mga mommies, daddies, mga homeschoolers, and those that are not yet homeschoolers but are interested in learning about homeschooling. Ako pa si Beday Fortuna. Mga 2 years ago po, ako yung happy president. At ngayon naman po, also, based on sinabi ni Lenny, kukopyahin ko na rin yung pattern niya. I homeschooled my son, my youngest, for 10 years. Sa ngayon po, ako yung directress ng Math Camp Philippines. Okay, Au, your turn.
Hi, good evening po. This is Au Villegas. Currently the treasurer po ng Happy. We open up Peniel po for the reason po to personally educate po our children. That's the main reason po. That's why we have Peniel. So throughout the years po, ako rin din po nag-guide sa mga anak ko. So it's really effective po na we are really intentional parents for our kids.
Wow, thank you so much, Beday and Au. So lahat kaming tatlo, nag-homeschool ng mga anak namin. Okay, so para sa ating mga early bird commenters, we have a surprise gift. So may giveaway po tayo. May mga books galing po sa aming mga sponsors ngayon from the generous hearts of Gopala Learning Haven and Living Learning Homeschool. We'll be giving this away for free. So please join us and share your comments. So we would also like to welcome two of our guests. So ayan, ang gaganda ng mga libro, no? So may coloring activity book tayo from Gopala, and then marami tayong libro from Living Books from Living Learning Homeschool. At ngayon, dahil sila yung nag-sponsor ng books natin, i-introduce din naman natin sila. So, two guests that we have. The first, I'm so happy to introduce to you Lakshmi Maluya. She was homeschooled DIY from preschool to high school. She also DIY homeschooled her two daughters from preschool to grade 5 and grade 3. Lakshmi is a prominent advocate for alternative education and plant-based nutrition and a veteran homeschooling mentor. She's also a wellness practitioner in the Philippines. And of course, may bonus. She also served as our former Happy president in Happy, and currently she is the founding director of Gopala Learning Haven. Hi, Lakshmi. Welcome to Happy. Ask Happy.
Hi, good morning tuloy. Good
Good evening na.
Good evening na pala. Good evening,
Opo.
everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. And also, another guest to join us in this episode is Gina Guerrero Roldan. Si Gina also DIY homeschooled her 4 kids, and she has been homeschooling for more than, guess, 15 years. So, pinakamatagal yata sa atin, no? She's a Charlotte Mason educator. She's a literacy advocate. She's also a homeschool leader and a lifelong learner. She is the program and founding director of Living Learning Homeschool, or LLH, a Charlotte Mason homeschooling community in the Philippines. She's passionate about helping families cultivate a living education. And she has conducted and facilitated a lot of Charlotte Mason immersion trainings, workshops, and conferences. And of course, she's also mentored parents in their homeschooling journey. As a literacy advocate, Gina enjoys studying the relationship between language, literacy, and a Charlotte Mason education, and is, of course, committed to equipping families to nurture a lifelong love for learning. Let's all welcome Gina. Hello! Nakamute ka, sister.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you, Gina, for joining us. Both of them are, of course, members of our Board of Trustees of Happy. Thank you for joining us today. So, what is this episode all about? Bakit tayo nandito? We are here to talk about the two main paths or options parents can take in homeschooling their children. So, pa-DIY ba or provider? So, let's jump in. First and foremost, alam ko nako-confuse yung mga parents natin sa homeschooling. They interchange it between online learning. So, unang-una, ano po ba talaga yung homeschooling? For those who are new and who have just joined us, homeschooling is parent-led. Okay? It's a home-based education where parents take full responsibility for their children's curriculum, pacing, and learning environment. Ang focus natin in homeschooling our children is, of course, personalized one-on-one instruction. It is tailored fitted to your child's specific interest and needs. I think we have talked about difference between online learning and homeschooling in the past episode. So gusto lang nating i-remind na homeschooling is not the same as online learning. It is fully parent-led. Si parents po ang may kakayahan ng lahat ng desisyon sa pag-homeschool ng kanilang mga anak. Okay. So, paano ka ba mag-umpisa? What are the options that you can take to homeschool your children? Gusto nyo ba ng pa-DIY? Or gusto nyo ba ng pa-provider? But before you decide, okay, meron tayong considerations na tinatawag. So, let me ask Teacher Au and Beday to share with us ano ba yung key considerations before we decide which path to take in homeschooling our children. Teacher Au, maybe share the first consideration.
Okay, good evening everyone. Usually po, for us, before we ask parents po, bakit kayo nag-homeschool? Why are you considering homeschool? We ask the following questions. Sino po bang magtuturo ng anak nyo? Do you know the responsibility po when you choose homeschooling? Kasi homeschooling kasi yung iba, merong misconception about that. Iniisip nila, yung teacher pupunta sa bahay tapos tuturuan yung anak nila. That's not homeschooling. Yung homeschooling, when we say homeschooling, it's parent-led. Parents are the one will be teaching and will be monitoring for every aspects po ng kanilang homeschooling. Now, ang first question usually, do you have the time? Are you ready to commit for homeschooling? Kasi po, yung homeschooling is a commitment. Once you decide po na mag-homeschool kayo, dapat you are ready emotionally, di ba, intellectually, na kaya nyo po yung task na ibibigay sa inyo. Pero yung common fear ng mga parents is that, kaya ko ba to? Yun, di ba, yun yung first question can I be a teacher to my kids? Kasi ang fear usually ng mga parents, paano kung hindi ko kaya lahat ng subjects? Di ba? So, what do we do if we are homeschooling? Ano-ano pa yung mga way na dapat gawin natin when we decide to homeschool? So here, dun po papasok yung comparison between the DIY and the provider. Kasi some of the providers can give you a structure to start with, then later you do your thing for homeschooling. And with the independent naman po, they can do research at the same time para naman magawa nila yung homeschooling nila. So, when we consider homeschooling, kasi homeschooling is not for everyone. Kasi pag sinabi mo mag-homeschool ako, dapat alam mo talaga na yung responsibility mo as a parent na these are the things that I need to teach my children, hindi lang academics, pero as a whole, di ba? As a whole yung turo natin. Most parents decide to homeschool because they want to be intentional. Hindi lang in terms of academic, but also in terms of character. Yung iba naman, they homeschool because there's a need. Example, under medication ako and I cannot go to school, then I will decide to homeschool. Or some of them naman, merong mga special skills na dapat i-develop pa, so they go homeschooling. Other people homeschool parang in a certain period of time lang. Pero meron pong marami naman pong homeschoolers na with success story po that they homeschool all throughout kasi nakita nila yung maraming benefits ng homeschoolers. Okay?
Tama.
So, yeah. So later, we'll discuss po yung everything, kung ano-ano po yung beauty ng homeschooling and what are the difference pag if you go with a provider or independent.
Correct. So, Teacher Au, parang gusto lang nating ipakita na kung pipili sila sa dalawang option, kailangan muna mag-decide sila kung meron silang time, kung meron silang pasensya, at meron silang subject knowledge para nila maturuan. Kasi kung hindi nila kaya, magpo-provider sila. Kung kaya nila lahat yan, may oras sila, may pasensya sila, meron silang karampatang knowledge on certain subject areas, pwede silang mag-DIY. Tama po ba?
Yes.
Okay. So, pangalawang key consideration, maybe Beday can share with us what is the second key consideration.
Okay, thank you very much, Lenny. Maganda yung sinabi ni Al kanina, no? Importante na malaman natin ano ba yung reason natin for homeschooling. Kasi nakadepend sa reason natin yung magiging goal din natin or yung objective natin for homeschooling. Now, so marami din namang mga homeschooling families that go through homeschooling with the objective of their kids going to completing their education, going to a good university or college, maybe going to a science high school, something like that, no? So kung halimbawa, yan po ang consideration ninyo, sa tingin ninyo, homeschooling yung best way kung saan mapiprepare ninyo yung anak ninyo ng maayos para mapuntahan niya yung ganitong klase na objective, then ang pwede nating isipin is baka kailangan ko ng provider. Yun, kasi
Diba?
ang mga providers give you, well, as I'll mention the structure, but at the same time, they give you accreditation. So what is accreditation all about? Ito po yung pagbibigay ng grades at saka ng determination if your child is going to move up to the next grade school level after one school year has been completed. So in other words, ang isang provider po ah, ay may kakayahan na magbigay ng grades sa mga anak natin at based on those grades, magde-decide sila if, for example, next year, pupunta, kunyari grade 2 ka, next year, grade 3 ka na. Or after elementary, the elementary grade levels, makakagraduate ka na from grade 6 and so now you're ready to go to high school. Or after junior high school, makaka-complete ka na. I think the terminology there is completing, no? You can complete grade 10 and then go to senior high school. So, ang importante po ito dahil ang mga colleges, universities, and even high schools, they require you to submit documents like transcript of records, report cards, etc. So kung yun po yung consideration natin, then it would be a good idea to go to a homeschool provider because they provide all of these documents, all of these records.
Correct. So ang galing naman nun. So in terms of legal accreditation, providing official transcripts, and of course yung mga grading system, and to ensure that our goals can be provided for by another institution, then dyan naglalaro kung kaya mo ba yon sa sarili mo, mag-provide ng grades. Parang hindi, di ba? Kasi wala tayong kakayahan. But if it's provided for by an institution like a homeschool provider tied up to a partner school, then doon tayo sa assisted with providers. Tama? So maganda yung sinabi nyo kasi pag bumalik sa regular school yung anak mo, sa traditional school, at saka nag-require sila ng official transcripts, paano tayo as parents, anong ibibigay natin kung nasa indie tayo? Although meron din naman na mga assessments as indie at sa DIY, pwede nating pag-usapan yan mamaya sa pros and cons ng bawat isang option. Thank you, Beday. Last but not the least is budget. Siyempre yung cost, no? So kung medyo kulang yung budget nyo para i-enroll ang inyong mga anak sa isang provider, pwede naman po tayong mag-DIY. Marami naman po tayong mga libreng resources na makukuha online or pwede naman tayong bumili ng mga resources na second hand or pwede rin tayong mag-borrow muna. Pero kung meron naman po tayong enough na budget, we can also consider going with a provider. Kasi meron mga tuition, may mga service fees, ang mga providers based on siguro sa books, at saka meron din sa seminars and workshops, di ba? Or mga diagnostic exams, yon. Pwede natin na bayaran yan, kasali na yan sa provider ng homeschool. Medyo substantial nga lang, kaya nga tinitingnan natin yung budget natin as mothers and dads. So, meron din naman po na provider na nagsisimula sa 6,000. Meron din naman in the middle, may mga 20, 25. Meron din naman umaabot ng 100,000. So, meron din po ng ganon. So, depende yung cost mo kasi sa homeschool, kung pinakamagagandang books at pinaka-expensive na books, talagang one to sawa ka. At lalo na kung reader yung anak mo, mas marami yung libro na ipipurchase mo at saka kung galing sa labas yung mga libro mo, talagang mapapagastos ka. So, depende na lang talaga sa budget at sa cost na gusto ng family nyo at ng mag-asawa. Ayan. So, may iba pa ba kayong key considerations na nakikita before mag-choose ang isang mom or dad? Whether pa DIY or provider, maybe Gina or Laxmi? Siguro maybe socialization, chine-check din, is that an important key consideration? Kung magpapa-DIY ka, may enough ba na grupo? May structure na ba yung DIY mo na merong socialization activities yung mga anak? Or makikita lang ba natin yan sa providers?
Well, I think in terms of having a community, it's really much harder to find it when you're DIY. So later ko na ikukwento yung story ko. Pero I was also an indie for a long time, and but the thing is, I like being alone. So if you're the type who initially maybe you want to really focus on your family and do things do things that way, then and you don't see the need for such a community, then maybe. But I only realized that I needed a community when I actually had one. And so, yun yung naramdaman ko. I thought forever, hindi ko na kailangan ng community. But in the end, when I actually felt that to be part of a group of moms who thought the way I thought, who wanted the same vision for our children, it felt like parang na-affirm yung decision ko. And also, my children, nagkaroon sila ng mga kaibigan and socialization. So I feel like you will not really understand the beauty of a community until you actually experience it. So that's my comment on that.
Thank you. How about you, Lax? So, importante ba yung socialization? Is that a consideration before you choose indie or DIY or provider?
Hi, thank you. Digest ko yung sinasabi ninyong lahat, and I think I'm coming from a different reason kung ba't kami nag-homeschool. And katulad ni Gina, mamaya na rin ako magkukwento. Pero I would just say that importante that you are in a community, because even if it's just a small community, kasi I was homeschooled during a time na it wasn't really known, mga 1980s. And my parents having a community, they were able to homeschool us all throughout kinder to high school because of that community. And kumbaga parang after we all graduated from high school, then that community also kind of disappeared too, because they didn't have a reason for it anymore. So nagawa nila yon na makapag-homeschool because they had a strong community.
Correct. Thank you, Lax, for saying that. So socialization is also a key consideration. So we have 4, no? And so it all boils down to 2 options now. So DIY or provider. So let's discuss muna yung DIY. Sometimes it's also called indie homeschooling, di ba? So in this approach, ang mga parents, they take full control of their children's education. So, pag-design ng curriculum, pag-manage ng record keeping kung meron man, pag-select ng mga materials, na walang oversight, walang kahit sino man ang magsasabi na, oh, hindi yan pwede or pwede yan. Okay, so they can actually mix different philosophies like Charlotte Mason, Montessori, classical, traditional, and they want to fit it exactly to the learning pace and interest of their children. So walang formal report cards issued by a mother school kasi nga DIY sila. And the student's learning progress, of course, is entirely dictated by the mom or the dad. Diba? That's responsible. So parang open curriculum minsan yung ginagamit. And mostly, you rely on free online or open curriculum. May mga library, books from the library, community classes. And sometimes, most often than not, everyday lived-in experiences kasi mas importante yon. To give us more insight, siguro para mas maintindihan, no, what is a DIY, let us probably listen to 2 of our guests here who have DIY homeschooled their children. Let me probably call on Lax to share your homeschool story. Lax?
So, ako pala umpisa. Okay, so thank you for this opportunity, and siguro masyadong mahaba, but I will try to my best na iklian. I was homeschooled as a child from preschool to high school, like I shared earlier. And the reason for that is that yung parents ko, they adopted to practice yoga meditation or yoga like way of life, and this entailed being vegetarian or on plant-based diet. And here in the Philippines, the dining table is the unifying activity of the Filipinos. We all like eating. And because of this, of course, we felt the division of our relatives and so on. And homeschooling was one of the things that our parents, they were a group of friends who decided that they will teach us all, yung mga anak na naging future homeschool mates ko. So they were a group of parents who decided they will be the one teaching us. And because of this, parang parang naging school siya because one family has 6 kids and they were about 5 to 6 or 7 families. So it was really a mini school in our time. So they did it according to how they learned, and somehow every year was a experiment ba or trial because things change every so often. We move places because we didn't have a school set up. We transferred from learn homes. We did our homeschooling meetups in different homes of parents or families, and that's how we went from the years. And then they did it DIY because that time there was no available institution, or DepEd wasn't really giving an option for the type of learning modality that they have embraced. And when I reached high school age, and of course, sabi ko nga, no, there's no records because they did it DIY. So from preschool to high school, I did not have any records. And during high school, I wanted to go to college. And because of this, they researched and helped my mom on the path where I can acquire accreditation or recognition or documents so that I can go to college. And at that time, PEPT was the main exam that was given to Filipinos who are considered out of school youth. Kasi nga DIY, I was on the system. So basically, I was out of school youth. And at that time, PEPT was the one being administered to students like us. So, and at that time, PEPT was given according to, for example, me, it was given from kinder to high school. So basically, it felt like I took a board exam already because I was given exam from kinder to high school in one sitting. So it's a whole day exam from kinder to grade school to high school. And when I finished it and got my results, I was able to use my results to go to college. And so I was able to go to college. Unfortunately, my other siblings, they were at the time in the season where DepEd was transitioning and introducing ALS or ANE. And because of this, the PEPT was no longer available for them to take in one sitting. They were given for just per year. They had to take the PEPT one level at a time only. So that meant it will take them a long time to do it. And so we found out about ANE or ALS. So some of our community sisters or brothers took that route. So until today, some of our homeschooling community families still take that route kung gusto nila mag-DIY, either PEPT or ANE or ALS. But as I've said, unfortunate, no, because when my younger siblings wanted to go to college, they became disheartened of the system and nawalan sila ng gana to pursue it because of this. And fast forward later on, when I had my kids, I also did DIY for my children for the first few years until I found a school who accepted homeschoolers. And that's the time that they were enrolled in a system. So they took the PEPT first and entered the school system through the school that I enrolled them in. So from then on, my children had a provider.
Mm.
So yun na lang muna.
Yeah, thank you, Lax. So from your story and your sibling story, and fast forward to doing DIY for your children. So yung struggle lang is mostly in the assessment, no? Kasi alam ko kinaya nyo naman because that's what you love to do, shaping the values and transferring, passing on your beliefs to your children. That's quite easy to do because you know your goals. And I think the challenges that you just have was your assessments,
Yes.
with regards
Yes.
to the system. Tama yon. So we will take note of that. So on the other side, let's hear naman from another story of DIY homeschooling from Gina. Sis, share your story.
Yes, hi, I'm Gina, and I have 4 children. And initially, the reason why I got into homeschooling primarily is because I met a lot of homeschoolers when I was still single, and I was amazed. I love talking to them, and they have a sense of confidence that I really admired. And so the lifestyle of homeschooling was already planted in my heart even when I was still single. And when I finally had a husband, I started researching already, even though I didn't have children yet. And finally, I had children na, and so I read and read, and I just fell in love with the possibility of just learning alongside my children and being home with them. And so we went to the States, and that's where really I was exposed to a lot of homeschooling styles, and one of which is the Charlotte Mason Way. So we stayed there for around 6 years. That's where I initially homeschooled, and in the States, there's more liberty to do what you want to do. And so I was guided by a way of learning, which is what I said, a Charlotte Mason way of learning. But we had to come home. We had to come back to the Philippines. When we came back to the Philippines, there were already homeschoolers here. But the thing is, when I asked that they, gusto ko sanang ma-enroll yung child ko, there was an evaluation for the kindergarten that probably I didn't feel comfortable with, given my method of learning. And so I decided maybe I'll just try for a few years to do it on our own. So we were DIYing it, and I loved doing it with my children. I loved the journey of learning alongside my children, and I was really passionate about it. But I was alone. And then I started meeting friends. And I met friends online. Actually, nagpapakilala ko. Let's meet up. Ganyan, ganyan. Let's meet up. Let's have a book club and all of these things. And then a small community grew. And then I started, I wanted to share how I do things. And so I taught some classes. And then so nagkaroon kami ng mini mundo. And it felt good, like what I said a while ago. It felt good to be part of a community, and that I wasn't alone, and I was affirmed again that this homeschooling lifestyle can really be done, because I can see it in the different families also. And so after a few years, we decided to start our own Charlotte Mason homeschool community officially. And that's the only time that my children went, doon ko lang sila pinapasok sa sistema ng DepEd. So, how did I do it? Like Lakshmi, nag-PEPT po lahat ng anak ko. We went through it. And then once they got the results, I'm not sure now what's the how it's done. I'm thinking there's still PEPT, but I think mas restricted na. I'm not so sure. Maybe Teacher Au or Miss Bede can explain. But we did go through PEPT, my children, and then they became part of a system already. And since then, so grade school sila. My eldest was, I think, he became part of the DepEd system when he was grade 4, I think. And since then, I had no more worries about the papers, the records, because my children desired to go to college. I mean, we all have different desires. Some don't want to pursue college, but for them, for us, our family, we value the educate yung college. And so yun yung parating nasa head ko. How will I do it? And since I became part of the system, and so it helped me ease my mind, nagkaroon ako ng peace of mind. And then, so my eldest right now, he's now going to a university. And so he was homeschooled from kinder to grade 10. Senior high, he transitioned to a traditional school, and he did well there. And then now he's going to be college next year. So that's my short story. But one thing is, I enjoyed my DIY years. I loved it. I really enjoyed it because there's a lot of freedom when you are DIY. You don't think of deadlines maybe, but siguro there are people who need deadlines. So 50-50 ako. I think I need deadlines as well. And so that helped me also. So may 50% of the day, ayoko ng deadlines. May 50% na kailangan ko. So in the end, I think I really thrived as a homeschooler when I became part of a community, when I became accountable to what I'm teaching my children. So that's my story.
Thank you, Gina. And what's wonderful in your sharing is that you mentioned about freedom, no? And of course, even with indie, you still can have your community. It's just a smaller community, but still a community. So it really depends on the mom or the dad that's homeschooling, how you're really going to plan the education around your children. So if there's a lot of freedom, of course, you choose indie, di ba? Walang deadlines, walang accountability. Yes na yes ka talaga sa indie. Pero as what you've said, meron ding drawbacks sa ganyan. Ano? So, magsasay hi muna ako doon sa mga kasama natin na nandito at 6 o'clock din, mga 6:10. Hi to Kat Santos, Jelly Jelly, si Josephine Mangampo, Ann Jaime and Shali. Good evening din sa inyong lahat. Thank you po for joining us. Let me ask all of you guys, ladies, no? Ano ba talaga yung benefits ng indie at ano naman yung drawbacks if you do DIY? Maybe I'll start off siguro, no? Siguro ang positive na nakita ko as what Gina has shared is complete autonomy. May freedom eh. Kung ano na lang ang pwede mong makita na maganda para sa anak mo, pwede mong gawin, no? Pwedeng gawin. So, you can start your school year at any time. It doesn't have to be June. It doesn't have to be July. You can end it and it doesn't have to be April or May kasi wala namang moving up, walang graduation. And you dictate the schedule. So, you avoid, as what Gina has said again, strict deadlines, which sometimes ang parents, nako, ayan na yung mga deadlines, di ba? It's very flexible, it's highly customizable. Maybe Teacher Au and Beday, Lakshmi and Gina can also share what the benefits are of a DIY aside from complete autonomy? Sa cost. Kaya ba?
Well, yeah, as you said, or ang ganda ng discussion mo kanina, Lenny, about the cost, di ba? Kasi when it comes to cost, yun nga, parang depende talaga sa budget ng pamilya, depende sa plans mo and the type of homeschooling that you want to implement in your family. For me, out of the 10 years that I homeschooled my youngest, yung first 4 years, hindi rin independent. Kasi at the time, I didn't know anybody in the homeschooling community. At that time, parang I tried like searching, googling about it. Medyo limited nung time na yon yung mga information that I got. And so, so I did it by myself. Siguro I'll start with my goal noon. Noon, ang goal ko talaga, kasi yung second son ko got into, my first son went to UP, and then my second son was accepted in Philippine Science High School in the main campus. And then since my youngest was also showing a lot of signs, a lot of interest in math and in science, so yun yung parang goal namin sa kanya na sana eventually he would go into Pisay just like his second brother. So, nung nag-start kami, parang wala akong makitang parang wala akong information about providers. And so I did it by myself. What I did was, ang maganda talaga dito was that, yun nga yung curriculum was, I chose the curriculum. And because my goal was for him to get into Pisay sana, hopefully, I chose the Ateneo curriculum. Kasi dun sa batch ng son ko sa Philippine Science High School, there were 14 graduates of Ateneo who made it to Philippine Science. So sabi ko, ay, sila yung pinakamaraming number, no? So I thought, okay, so they must be doing something good. And so I had a friend, and then I requested for the curriculum and the books. She helped me procure books. So yun, so I loved it because I was able to have the freedom to do that. But at the same time, because I'm very academically oriented, ang naging drawback dito, Lenny, was that medyo nag-focus ako sa academics nung time niya because that's the only way I knew how to do it, and that's why when, for example, eventually when I enrolled my son in CFA homeschool, doon ko na-realize, ganun pala homeschooling. Dapat pala ganito, not really too academic oriented. There's so many more beautiful facets of homeschooling. And so I really appreciated the guidance that CFA homeschool gave me, and then also the learnings that I got from the community. So yun, so I guess in my own specific experience, benefit, open curriculum, I chose my curriculum, but then the drawback was that I did it based on how I knew to do it, which was very minimal at that point. So yan.
Wow. Yeah, tama no. So aside from cost, siguro yung maganda rin is the interest of your child. So interest-led learning yung kinuha mo, and the curriculum was made to suit the interest of your child, whether it's in math, physics, or sciences, no? So if there are other parents here who share the same passion to encourage their children to explore their interest, pwede po kayo mag-DIY niyan. Kasi, kunyari, your children loves arts or coding or being an entrepreneur, you don't have to confine yourself to a specific standardized syllabus. Tama? Pwede kang kumuha ng iba't ibang curriculum to really suit that and support that interest of your child. So maganda 'yon, no? Siguro cost kasi nga, it's very obvious yung cost, no, sa DIY. Paano naman pag drawbacks? May mention ka na, Beda, na sometimes it can sway one way. It can skew one way.
Definitely.
And sometimes you forget the whole facet of a child. So,
Especially
apart
if you're
from that,
new, especially Lenny, if you're new to it and you don't really have a lot of information about it. That's why, personally, I would recommend yung mga newcomers, yung newbies in homeschooling, maybe the best way really is to start with a provider. And then
Correct.
eventually
Sometimes
when you're
walang
more
guidance.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
eventually when you're more mature na in the homeschooling sector, maybe you know the ins and outs already, then baka you'll have the confidence and the capability, the know-how to
Yeah.
do it independently.
Correct. Ano pang
Yeah,
drawback? Oh, yes, Gina.
and I just want to comment, ang galing lang nung sinabi ni Miss Beday na you, he, she had the best of intentions, you know, because she wanted the math and the sciences. And we all do as parents, no? We all do have that desire to give them the best. But nung may nakilala na siyang outer world, the world, so doon niya na-realize na, oh, so the exposure really to other people, to other families even, is such a good thing for us, you know, and also good for our children. So that's one thing that I liked about your story, Miss Beday. As much as I didn't know that a community would help me, I didn't know that. I thought I could do it on my own and magtatago na ako sa buong mundo. But I didn't know that community really helped me.
Yes. Teacher Al, meron kang i-share?
Actually, when we started the school, hindi talaga school yung intention namin eh. It was just parang playgroup. Kasi my kid was around 3 years old back then eh. Tapos parang katuwaan lang. Then eventually kasi, siyempre, the school was starting, ako lahat yung teacher. Ako nagtuturo ng anak ko. So, parang homeschooling lang na may ibang batang kasama. Pero, what I realized back then, kasi di ba may structure usually in school, tas hindi pa kami under DepEd dun. Kasi way back then, yung kindergarten, yung mga preschoolers, hindi pa required yung mga DepEd permit eh. Ang ano pa lang, usually ang formal schooling will start at grade 1. Pero sa amin no, nursery, wala pa talaga. Eh, syempre, kung hindi ka nga sanay dun sa structure, ang tendency, magtuturo ka, yung alam mong standard. So, you're so strict, tapos gusto mo matuto agad without realizing yung need nung bata. Then, a few years after that, nung nag-grade level na yung school namin, eh, di ba yung homeschool community nun, hindi talaga siya kilalang-kilala pa eh. Ilan pa lang talaga yung nag-homeschool. So, marami akong mga friends, nasa independent lahat. Eh, di ba, usually, naka-church base kami. So, yung mga iba na nag-decide nag-homeschool, introduce to me homeschooling. Kinuwento sa akin, oh, this is how we do it. And interested ako. Sabi ko, parang parehas din ang ginagawa ko. So, sabi niya, sige na, you have a school naman, help us. Sabi ko, hindi ko alam yung homeschool. Wala akong idea ng homeschool. Pero as the years go by, syempre you're guided with these different people about homeschooling. Nagbabago din yung perspective ko about schooling. Pati yung approaches, talaga honestly, nagbabago talaga. So yung hindi na ngayon yung puro academic tracks yung ano ko eh, yung naging goal ko. Mas more on the character building and everything. So a year after that, the reason why most of the independent homeschooler wants to enroll to us kasi yung records nga. That's the reason why. Kasi ang plano nila, most of them, after grade 6 sana, they will try Philippine Science or Ateneo or yung magka-college naman, gusto nila din na may records para makapasok ng colleges. So that's how we started with homeschooling. Una talaga is to assist friends lang. Tapos nung habang tumatagal, na-in-love na rin ako dun sa program eh. Gusto ko yung idea, gusto ko lahat yung concept. So, siguro, sasabi ko nga sa sarili ko, if nauna yung homeschool na nalaman ko, baka wala akong school. Nag-homeschool ako all throughout. So, advantages nung with the provider, may record. So, anytime na you decide to go back to a system na regular school setup, madaling mag-transfer. And second, hindi mo kailangan mag-PEPT kasi noon lahat sila, nung nag-enroll sa amin, pina-PEPT ko kasi nga dapat complete yung records from grade school hanggang high school. So you have to take the PEPT before you can enroll to me. Yun yung mga advantages and disadvantages. If you go independent, wala kang records. If you intend to go back to a regular school setup, hindi ka agad. Eh ngayon, ang problema with the PEPT, may schedule na. Unlike before, di ba yung kila Gina, pupunta ka lang ng central office, then take a schedule, pwede ka mag-PPT, then after a few months, ayan na yung results, so makaka-enroll ka na sa regular school. Pero with the setup now, may schedule siya, parang January or March. Tapos, kung kailan lang marirelease yung record, doon ka lang makaka-enroll. Eh, minsan, nadi-delay yung results. So, yung iba, nagwi-wait pa ng another school year bago makabalik sa regular school setup.
Correct. So, yun yung ano pala, drawback. So, kung kailangan mo ng validation at saka testing, no, if you have your children go back to regular traditional school, you will have to take that specific specialized testing called PEPT. And that's only scheduled once a year. And it cannot be taken every year by DIY homeschooling parents. It's only once when you want your child to go back. And there's a schedule. So if you miss that schedule, next year ka na ulit. So parang may isang taon ka na masasayang, ano. So yung validation and testing is a drawback. Also yung sinabi mo, Teacher Au, yung administrative burden, ikaw lahat. You're in charge of the tracking ng attendance, pag-maintain ng mga portfolio or grades, tsaka yung mga rubrics mo, yung lesson plan mo, ikaw lahat yan. So kung wala kang pasensya at wala kang oras, parang hindi mo magagawa yan kasi lahat nasa sayo yung burden. And sometimes I think yung self-reliance, yung you lose access to all of these beautiful things na benefits ng nasa isang provider, 'di ba? Yung meron kang community support, like sinabi ni Gina, yung probably yung mga seminars, parent workshops, yung mga school hindi naman school, no, but events organized by the ones in the provider and partner school. So parang sayang, 'di ba? You lose access to that because you have to look for the socialization events by yourself. So I think you see the positive and the drawbacks also of DIY. Let's go to the second option. So ano yung second option? This is homeschooling under a provider. It means you are outsourcing your curriculum, your grading, to an organized service provider with a partner school. So, mga organized na service providers, kami yon, yung happy members namin. So, nakikita nyo, if you're probably looking at your screen right now in FB, you see the QR codes there. O, ang ganda-ganda. So, ano yan? You're probably wondering, ano yun po? These are the QR codes of the FB pages or websites of our member schools who are our guests today. So, kay Peniel, Math Camp, Living Learning, Homeschool, Gopala. Tama ba? Yan. So nakalagay dyan. So you can go to those websites or FB pages and check out. So ang maganda sa mga accredited ng Happy, who are members of Happy, they have gone through and passed all of our checklist. May homeschool permit ba? Meron bang, ano ba yun? Government accreditation galing sa DepEd. So all these have passed through us and naka-check po, yes, we are legitimate, accredited by DepEd. So wala kayong alala or anxieties pagdating sa legit ho ba itong mga member homeschool providers? Yes po, legit na legit. So let's go back to Lakshmi and Gina with their stories. Alam ko may part 2. So after nag-DIY homeschool kayo, I remembered you also mentioned that is also the time that you went back to being enrolled in a provider. Tama ba? O, Lakshmi, can you share with us, paano ka napunta sa provider pagkatapos?
Because of my youngest brother, he wanted to pursue college. And like I mentioned earlier, we are 6, so 12 years apart. So the time that he wanted to go to college, we needed a school for him to enroll with after taking the test or the exam from the PEPT. So from that time, I was introduced to this school who accepted and catered homeschoolers. And of course, sabi ko nga sa inyo unfortunately, my other siblings got disheartened because they were not able to do the test on time, and for them they had a different path na lang, not college but still a different path. Kumbaga natuloy na lang nila yung kanilang Ngayon later on ko na nalaman na parang unschooling na rin yung ginawa nila, because they went to a route where they took on mentors. So they still focused on their interest and found a mentor for them to be apprenticed. So that's how the four siblings in between went to. So my youngest brother wanted to go to college, and I saw the benefit of having no heartaches, having a provider na, because I don't need to think about, oh, shall we take the test or not, maybe this year or maybe next year. So when my brother enrolled with that school, I also Rupa and I talked about it and discussed it and decided that we want to enroll our children already with the system, so that maybe if they want to go to college, they can just easily get their documents and go to college. And by the way, I have 3 girls, and my first daughter, who was recently married, took on
Congratulations.
took on the route of going to a college. So it was really beneficial for me that we had a school partner, or they were enrolled in a system already, because the transition was just very easy. You know, she went to college, and she graduated as a teacher and became a professional teacher. But with my 2 youngest daughter, after they finished senior high school, they decided to take a gap year. So for us also, college is very important. The timing is the one that really matters. For us, college should be really, really for you, and the time is kung kailan ka ready. So Vaishnava, my second, said after 2 years of gap years, she decided, okay, Mama, college is not yet for me, because she's in the creative side, probably because of all the arts that we did when they were young. So parang she wants to explore the arts, and right now she's doing it. She's doing galleries, exhibits, and doing
Lax, na-unmute ka, Lax.
okay. Nawala
Okay.
ako. How about now? Am I back?
Yes.
Okay. So my second daughter wanted to pursue her creative side. And maybe later on, she said maybe she will go to college. And my youngest daughter also is on her gap year, still thinking about what to take for college. By the way, siguro medyo bad example ako, no?
Bakit
Hindi
naman?
Kasi I went to college, and then because in our practice, we didn't have any boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. And so when my husband asked my hand from my mom, I entered household life, or I got married. And because he's quite older than me, I decided that I want to focus first to build a family. So I stopped college, and then 10 years later, finished it naman. So 10 years in the making
Congratulations. It's
college.
never too late. It's never
Yes,
too
that's
late.
right. Yeah, because the reason why I pursued a teaching degree is because I wanted to know what is really the difference between being homeschooled and being in a school system. And what I discovered is that, as a homeschooled product myself, I discovered that I was very confident where I want to be and what I want to do. And the college freshmen that I was with, majority of them didn't know what they really want with their lives. Because somehow napilitan lang sila, or because andun yung barkada. But that's one thing that I think the benefit that I got from homeschooling is that I know what I wanted already at that age. I had a goal and I wanted to be, to follow it. So,
Yeah.
yun yung naging ano sa akin na parang maganda naging may provider ka kasi para yung transition, even if we had different seasons in our homeschooling journey, we were already secured in a way that the children can go to college if they like to.
Maganda yung sinabi mo, no, Lax, na it's the convenience of being provided with the legal requirements and regulatory requirements of going to another level of education, which is in this case college education for you, your siblings, and your children. So, yun yung makikita natin na positive sa homeschooling with a provider if you're in a system, especially with a partner school. Maybe let's hear about the insight from Gina. How did you transition from DIY to homeschooling with a provider?
So in a way, like Lakshmi, they had a way of learning. In a way, I too had a way of learning, and I wanted my children to learn specifically in this certain method, which is what I said, Charlotte Mason. And at that time, again, like the main reason why I was in D is because parang I couldn't see an institution that would support what I envisioned. And so, and that's the reason why maybe we started the community of Charlotte Mason homeschoolers. Eventually, I did enroll in a DepEd system because honestly, the whole time that I was DIY or indie, I had, at back of my head, parang I was scared because of course, the responsibility really is mine, to make sure that, in the end, may options yung mga anak ko. So, I know naman that there are ways to go about it, like PEPT and all of these things. There are really ways to go about it kung ano ka you talk to people, you ask people. There are definitely ways, but I did not have that extra energy to do it on a yearly basis or to just even think about it already. Dahil I wanted my energy to be focused on educating my children, not for them to be plugged in the system or be legal every year. Parang ganun yung thinking ko. So I wanted that peace of mind. So well, maski okay yung freedom ko, I really had absolute freedom when I was an indie. I did not have to, pass anything or do anything. Again, in my heart, maybe it's my personality because maybe there are families who would rather, they don't really mind doing it all. In my heart, I knew I needed some sort of accountability and that I wanted the peace of mind. And since the time na pumasa sila ng PEPT, I was just so happy because at last I don't have to think about that anymore. And I just need to focus on their education. Because in PEPT, you also have to review certain things for PEPT. Very mechanical, textbook-like questions where nauubos yung time mo just to review for that. So now that I'm in the system, since then, nakatulong talaga. Medyo harder in a sense because again, I have to be accountable because I'm already enrolled in the system. We're already enrolled. There's a check and balance here that's happening, but I just accepted that. I embraced that accountability. And when I did embrace that accountability, I felt na mas talagang may nag-check sa akin. Maski wala naman. I mean, so I really said, no, I'm doing this for my children and what's the least I could do is just, submit certain documents. And true enough, it really, I feel like I really flourished in this type of setup. Not because sinasakal ako, in fact, hindi naman, but kumbaga 50-50 nga eh. We have a system in place, and then I can follow that system, and then I can also be at peace with what I'm doing. So that's my experience. And in the end, my eldest, he went off to senior high, and he wanted to do senior high talaga traditionally, and then now eventually college. And I like what Lakshmi said, no, so for her daughters, they wanted a gap year. And so that's just also the beauty of homeschooling. We all have different idea. We all have different ideas of what we want to be, or ano yung path natin. And I like that we're all different. The time lima. and yet we see the value of homeschooling, and to be accountable with that, to be accountable in this calling that we have. Kasi honestly, well, sige, ganun na lang. I'll end there.
Maganda yung sinabi
Kasi,
mo,
wait,
no?
okay.
So,
Kasi
accountability, no?
Yeah. Kasi, okay, to be honest, if I probably am not accountable to any institution or to any community, I can really be lost already. I can have my own world, and if I have my own world and just do my thing and hide in the forest, kawawa yung mga anak ko din. If yun ang desire mo, go. But for me, that's not my desire. I want them to be out in the world and meet people. But for me, I know that that's my tendency. And so it helped me, it pushed me to really connect with people. And so that's why I'm really, really thankful that may PEPT noon at nagawan ko ng paraan na napasok kami sa sistema.
I like the fact that you said there's validation, no, accountability, and there's also socialization and interaction for your children. For me naman, I think while I was homeschooling, I was always thinking, am I doing enough? Kasi ako lang yun di ba? So I need another person's perspective to make sure that I am indeed doing something enough for my children. And that is I think people call it portfolios. Most of us know about portfolios, no? So aside from the usual summative assessments like exams, meron pa kaming short quizzes, meron kaming long exam, may short exam, may pop-up quiz pa nga ako eh. But the beauty that I saw is that while my children were enrolled in their previous school, in an international school, they were already doing portfolios. And when I already enrolled through a provider, they have the same. They have the same assessment through the portfolio. And the beauty is that that's expressing their creative side. So it's not just the summative assessment, it's not just the pen and paper, but it's also putting in application what they have learned and expounding it and putting it in their own perspective. So yun yung nakita ko, no? And by presenting that portfolio in a portfolio review with another, we call them homeschool advisors or teachers if you must, with the homeschool provider, it gave us another perspective. So it's another insight. So hindi lang ikaw as parent, kasi minsan pwede kang maging objective, pwede ding hindi, di ba? But there's another third party, another person that actually validates. Am I seeing what I'm seeing? Is there another thing that they're seeing? So mas maganda yon kasi hindi lang ako yung nag-a-assess sa mga anak ko. Meron pang iba. And I think that's the beauty also of being accountable. No? So parang hindi lang ikaw na nakapagsabi, yes, okay dito yung mga anak ko sa ganitong area, but meron ding perspective yung ibang tao, and we need that perspective, another insight. It's not just ours. So I think maybe Teacher Au can also support that, or Beday, in terms of the positives and the drawbacks of homeschool
I agree.
providers.
With the provider kasi, with us kasi, you can also take national tests like NCAE, National Achievement Test. Actually, it's a good gauge. Kasi for us, for the years na yung lahat ng homeschoolers are taking NCAE, nakikita mo na yung path towards college. So, yung mga parents, they can actually review kasi comprehensive yung exam eh. May academic, at the same time, psychological test. So, na-prepare mo na yung kids. Kunyari, mababa yung math, and if they intend to take that kind of course, you have ample time talagang to really review kung ano pa yung need ng mga bata. And, syempre, with school, di ba, may mga preparation ng exams. Right? While for taking the entrance test, hindi sila kakabahan kasi marunong na sila ng time management in taking the entrance test, which is I think is also important. And isa pa, yung kunyari, kasi before kasi, kaya medyo gumawa rin ako ng system for the homeschooling. Kasi may mga homeschoolers na pag nag-college na, hindi sila makasabay pag mabilis yung pacing, yung may mga oras. So, importante din na we teach them also discipline, na if we're going to take a test, dapat kaya mo rin in a matter of 1 hour or 30 minutes kasi pagdating ng college, hindi ka naman antayin ng professors mo eh. So, naging goal ko rin yun na to teach parents na manageable yung time kaysa yung parang kung kailan lang gustong sagutan or what. Maganda kasi may ano rin eh, ang sa homeschooling kasi commitment, discipline, dapat yan all in one din eh, magkakasama. So, yun din yung nakita kong advantage with the providers. Maraming option eh to take the test. At saka, if you need help with the guidance counselor, kunyari, hindi academics problema mo, yung kayo mismo, bilang parent and student, kasi minsan, di ba, may disagreements then between them. So, pwede ka rin mag-seek ng help through a guidance counselor. So, yun ang mga advantages nun.
Yeah, maganda yun, yung may offer ka ng ibang support. So, it's not just done na yung curriculum mo, pero meron kang teacher support, meron kang parent coaching, meron pang guidance counselor na, syempre, kung ikaw lang, ikaw lahat yun. Kung nagdi-DIY ka, ikaw lahat yun. So, you're sharing the burden, no? Maybe Bede can share with us ano ba yung nakikita niyang positives and or drawbacks in homeschool provider?
Well, not exactly my own experience, but what I've heard from my friends is that parang sinasabi nila yun nga, sometimes it's a bit limited because they give you a curriculum that you have to follow. And then quarterly, you get exams. And then in CFA, where my son, kanina nga sinabi ko na nga, no, that's where my son enrolled in. After every school year, there's also an exam to test what the kids have learned in the entire school. But in a regular school, usually there are, especially if the regular school is PAASCO accredited, there are achievement exams or some sort of evaluation exams that are conducted at the end of the school year. So in CFA homeschool, meron din ganon. And so some parents didn't like that, but actually I appreciated that. So it's really more, from what you asked, Lenny, it's really more kung ano yung narinig ko from my friends and from other homeschoolers na bakit hindi nila masyadong nagustuhan yung sa homeschool provider, and they'd rather go independent, do homeschooling independently. So kagaya ng nasabi,
less flexibility, no? Then
yes, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, if you're really more mature in your homeschooling journey, if you are already experienced and you know how to do it, then siguro yung independent option would be good for you. Maybe you'd appreciate it more. In my case, hindi. I really appreciated my time with my provider because I learned about homeschooling more. I learned about the best practices of parents who are enrolled just like me. And yun nga, no, as I said, initially I was too academically oriented. And then eventually I realized, oh my, ganito pala kaganda ang homeschooling. It's not just about academics. It's about character development. It's about spiritual development. It's about making sure that your child grows up to be, a responsible member of society. Something like that, no? It's about forging a very strong bond between you and your homeschooling child, and also among the members of the entire family. Yung mga ganun ba? That's what I realized and I really found that beautiful. And so sa akin, hindi, iyon, siguro in terms of drawbacks, I can just share what I've heard. But for me, I really didn't find them as drawbacks at all.
Yeah, thanks, Beday. So we have here, no, just showing what the two main options are for independent and with providers, the pros and cons, whether with accreditation, validation, assessments, grades, rubrics, lesson plans. If there's a learner reference number, by the way, walang learner reference number pag DIY ka, kakailanganin mong kumuha mo ng PEPT, 'di ba? And then pag nag-enroll ka, kailangan talaga yung assessment ng PEPT before ka mag-enroll sa back to traditional regular school. And then, may validation kasi si DepEd lang ang nagbibigay niyan. And then, of course, in terms of choosing the books, it really depends on whether you want to be independent or with provider. So, ang tanong natin, what is really the best choice for your children? No, if you've seen the two main options for homeschooling, hindi namin masasagot yan. Kayo dapat sumagot as parents. We've just given you guidelines, key considerations, and then the pros and cons of the two options or the homeschooling paths for your children. But I think the real question is, it's really a matter of choice for you. If you want to choose freedom or guidance, if you want to choose flexibility versus accountability, and if you want to choose cost versus support. Okay, diyan naglalaro yung mga answers nyo, no, kung saan kayo papunta, kung independent or DIY or with a provider. So, natapos na natin to. Mas maganda to kung kailangan yung screenshot, i-screenshot nyo na yung two main options for homeschooling. And then would also like to say hi to those who are joining us right now. Dara Galas Marquez, hello. At si Aliville, hi Aliville. Ang sabi niya, maganda yung flourish and thrive. Where your children are flourishing and thriving, that's where you should be. And I really agree. So, natapos tayo sa options nila. So, ngayon, what do parents need to do? Pag naka-decide na sila, magdi-DIY ako, magpo-provider ako, anong gagawin ko next? 'Di ba? May mga requirements po ba na kailangan nilang ibigay at isubmit para makapag-enroll na at para makapagsimula na sila ng isang homeschool year? Okay, maybe I need to, since all of you are providers, I need to ask you, ano po ba yung mga requirements na kailangan isubmit ng mga parents? Teacher Au, Beday, Gina, Lakshmi.
Yeah, before the requirements, I just want to share that in Happy, there are different providers. And what's nice is that, each family, we homeschool in different ways. And so it's nice to go through the providers within Happy and see where you fit. That's what I love about Happy. We're all different in some ways, but we're all the same in terms of accountability. So I think that's the first step. Is to go through it or the list and see ito ba masyadong strict, ito ba hindi, and yung masyadong strict minsan yun yung gusto mo. So that's where for me that's step number 1, and then step number 2, the general documents si Teacher Au na po ang mag-share.
Naka-mute ka.
Ayan. Minsan kasi depende yung admission requirements sa school. For some school, entrance test first before submitting all the requirements, interview, diba? So for general guidelines for transferring, as kunyari, you're in kindergarten, ang una dyan is ECD checklist if the child is ready for kindergarten. Then birth certificate, tapos mga pictures ng parents and resume for whoever will teach. Importante kasi yon yung may idea yung school kung ano yung capabilities ng parents para alam ng school how to assist also. Then, for grade 1s to hanggang grade 10, it's the standard report card, good moral character, transcript of records, Tapos yung ano niya, yung birth certificate. Pag once naman meron na lahat yan, madali na lahat yung admissions.
Ang ibang requirements, ano po ba yung letter of intent at saka meron
Yung
bang
letter of intent, that is one of the requirements of DepEd. Kasi,
ano po
yung
ba yung letter
DepEd,
of intent?
kasi, di ba with the DO 001, series of 2022, yung homeschooling kasi, hindi lang because you wanted to go homeschooling, DepEd wants to assure naman that there should be accountability. Saka yung commitment mo as a parent. So, there's a within the index na merong letter of intent na you're applying for homeschool for a specific reason. Kasi yon kaya yun nire-require ni DepEd para for separate data purposes din na bakit ka nag-homeschool, reasons for homeschooling, and magsasign ka na you will be responsible in teaching your kids, pati yung submission ng mga documents, ng mga portfolio, talagang you're signing a waiver na you will be accountable. Yun yung yung school intent. Kasi hindi pwedeng school lang yung may liability, yung provider mo. Kasi hindi naman magbibigay nga si school sa'yo ng mga certain requirements, certain lesson plan, pag hindi mo naman ginawa yung mga dapat mong gawin as a homeschool mom, nadidefeat yung purpose ng education mo eh. So, as a parent, dahil ikaw yung kasama sa nag-decide na mag-homeschool, dapat accountable ka.
Paano po kung let's say I'd have different scenarios. If you are a new mom about to homeschool your child and she's about to go to kindergarten, magkaiba po ba yung requirements as opposed to you've already homeschooled from a traditional school and then you want to homeschool. So, kunyari, nasa elementary na siya. At saka, if gusto mo mag-transfer sa ibang providers, magkakaiba po ba yung mga requirements?
Same procedure, actually. Sa preschool lang naman yung may EECD checklist eh. The rest, the same. Report card, good moral, transfer of records. Ano lang naman transfer to one school to another. Most of the time, yung regular school sila galing, tapos bigla silang mag-homeschool for a certain reason. Same requirements din kung paano ka pumasok sa school. Kailangan clear ka dun sa previous school mo, kumpleto yung records mo. Kasi minsan, yung iba, nag-homeschool, ito honest to goodness, nag-homeschool sila kasi may utang sila sa kabilang school and kung mura tong homeschool, ito muna ang gagawin ko instead of me going to a public school. May mga ganyan eh. So, i-screen mo din kung ikaw yung, tatawa-tawa. Pero totoo yun. So, kung ikaw yung provider, dapat check mo din. Kasi baka later, yung bata yung kawawa. That you really have to screen it kasi baka mali yung motive mo for homeschooling. Dapat turuan mo din yung parents na, ma'am, if that's the reason, baka hindi mo na maturuan yung anak mo or papabayaan mo lang. So, why not enroll in a public school para makasettle ka sa previous school mo, makuha mo yung records, then later, clear ka sa system na wala kang utang. Or yung iba naman, ang reason nila talaga, they found out na parang may learning gap yung anak ko. So, the best way is to homeschool. I have ample time para ma-bridge ko yung gap ng anak ko. So, iba-iba nga yung reason. So, yung requirements naman are all the same. May testing. Ngayon, kung may learning gap ka, what would you do? Patulong ka dun sa school na ma-bridge yung gap. Dapat ganun yung mga mo eh. Yun yung advantage kasi ng provider na pwede kang magpatulong na kung alam mo na may problema pala yung anak mo, then we can help, di ba? Pwede kami magbigay ng mga alternative na mga lessons na for you to catch up.
Ganda. Tsaka may mga diagnostics din, and assessments yung mga homeschool providers natin to check saan nagkukulang or tama ba, were they able to satisfy the learning outcomes of that child on a per level. Tama, no? Hindi naman pwedeng wala. Diagnostics yung tawag natin doon. And kahit na DIY homeschool ka, you can also check with other centers that provide assessments. Hindi naman hindi naman exclusive yan sa mga homeschool providers. You can also search, by the way. There are many testing sites also and centers that provide that for a fee. So I guess mga 600 pesos to 1,000 pesos depends on which centers you go to. So yun, maraming salamat po at saka gusto ko lang magsabi sa ating mga homeschool moms and dads, congratulations for enrolling your children. It is another homeschool year. And would like to say hi also to Misha. Good evening po. Any recommendation po na DepEd accredited na affordable na homeschool? Ayan, may first question kaagad tayo. Meron po ba kaming DepEd accredited na affordable homeschool? Ayan. Ang maganda dito sa Happy, meron kang options, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Yung mga members natin ranges from most affordable to, how do you say it, most generous na mga service fees. So you might want to check out their websites also. It's the list of our members are in our FB page. Ang maganda po sa Happy members is that they're already DepEd accredited. Sino ba yung mga homeschool providers natin? It also ranges from the services that they offer and curriculum. So yung iba, focus nila is Charlotte Mason, no? Yung iba classical, yung iba traditional, may iba naman na interest-led. So, ang maganda sa Happy members, as what Gina has mentioned kanina, we are all different but we are one. Okay? We just want to make sure that you are assisted, you are guided in homeschooling your child. So, it really depends on your budget and in the cost. So, kung affordable, what does affordable mean, 'di ba? Hindi lang 'yan low cost, but also is it worth it? Okay? Are the services worth it for your child? Another question from Mami Kim Carino, does age matter for a child to be enrolled in the system? Okay, ibibigay ko na 'yan sa inyo.
For kindergarten, it should be 5 years old on or before October 30. Yun yung cut-off eh. Dapat 5 years old siya on or before October 30. Pag kunyari, ang birthday ko November 1, next school year ka na, masasama sa system. So, yeah. So,
Okay, so
ano
hindi
na yun?
ka agad-agad teacher out, no?
Yeah. May cut-off age. So,
Yeah.
pag okay na yung kinder, mapapasok ka sa system. For the next school year, ayun, tuloy-tuloy ka na.
Tama. Okay, so dahil may bago tayong homeschool year, would there be any tips that you can provide for our homeschool parents out there to have a successful homeschool year? O sige, magsimula tayo kay Lakshmi and then to Gina, Beday, and Au.
For me, for us, since tapos na ako mag-homeschool, graduate na ako. So, emphasize ko na lang siguro how we did it. We homeschooled according to our season and very thankful that we had a school that our daughters are enrolled in because no matter what the season we were in, nakaka-adjust kami kung ano yung kailangan namin i-adjust para maka-move on sila to the next level. So that's one of the, benefits of having a school or a provider. So if you are, in this season right now, actually maraming changes sa DepEd and the school calendar na lang or the curriculum itself. So you have to be, as a parent, you have to homeschool according to your seasons, according to your capacity as a parent and as a family para
Thank
sa
you,
benefit ng anak niyo.
Thank you so much, Lax, for that tip. Maybe we can ask Gina, share your tip for a successful homeschool year.
Before the homeschool year, I just want to remind everyone who's thinking about homeschooling is that you have to really know your reason why you're homeschooling. So like what Teacher Au said, if you are escaping something, some responsibilities, if that's your main reason for homeschooling, please think again because we are really we are responsible for our children, and homeschooling really is a calling, and it takes a lot of our energy, our time, and kaya kailangan po talaga committed. Now, if it's half-half, if you don't know your why behind homeschooling, mas mahihirapan po kayo and mas kawawa po yung anak nyo. So number one thing to make your homeschooling a success is to know your why. Why are you doing this for your child? Why are you doing this? Why are you following this calling to educate your children and to be home with your children? And the rest will follow. Even what kind of homeschool provider you want, because from there makikita mo what kind of provider resonates with you, their activities, the things that they believe in. So, maski yun mararamdaman nyo kung alam nyo po yung why nyo. So, I start with your why and then unti-unti, slowly, it will follow. And reach out. If you are now a homeschooler and it's your first year and litong-lito po kayo, if you're part of a provider, reach out, ask for help. That's why you are part of a community. Don't think na nakakahiya. A lot, homeschooling families would love to help anyone that's new. So reach out to your communities para matulungan po kayo and your provider. Yan.
Maraming salamat, Gina. So again, let's ask Beday, what's your tip after homeschooling for a season and then know your why? Is there any other tip?
Dahil sinabi na ni Gina yung tip ko. So siguro ang ma-share ko na lang is homeschooling is not just about academics. The most important thing really is to develop your child to be a responsible member of society in the future when they grow up. So yung character building, spiritual development, emotional maturity nila. So all of these things, it's like look at your child the way God sees them or sees him or her. Na this child is God's masterpiece. He has so many facets in him or in her, not just academics. There's so many aspects, so many talents, so many gifts that the Lord has provided to your child. And it's not just about academics. So enjoy your time with your child. Provide a safe space for your child to learn. It's not just about, studying and learning and passing exams and having good grades. It's really more about developing the love of learning. Take breaks, talk, converse, talk about problems. Alam mo yung ganon, yung just give yourself and your child and your family the chance to breathe and to relax and to enjoy the process and the journey.
Thank you, Beday. Lovely, no?
Alright.
Ganda-ganda. Parang talagang veterano na homeschool mom. Teacher Au!
Diba
May
after
tip ka ba?
after knowing your why and the process, yung third siguro, once you started homeschooling, don't replicate the school system. Kasi you have to have your own system as a family kung what's suitable for you. Kasi karamihan kasi kaya nasi-stress out yung mga parents for homeschooling. Gusto nila kung paano nag-work yung regular school, ganun din yung system for the homeschool. And you'll be burned out later. So, yung sinabi nga ni Beday, know your family, know your child, kung ano yung purpose, then you go about that and create your own system as a family.
Yeah, galing, no? Gusto ko rin yun, no? After mentioning the homeschooling for a season and then knowing your why and then just maximizing your time with your child. It's not just about math, learning sciences. It's not just all academics. It's about the value system. And with the recent issues we are facing with our youth, I think it's about time that we rethink as homeschool parents, as parents, what to do with our children while they are in our presence within the day. No, so making sure that they are loved, that they are nourished, nurtured, and then not just their interest, kasi hindi lang naman yan academics at saka yung interest nila, but then their own person. as their own person, we need to uh, check with them how they are, how are they feeling. So I guess yun yung pinaka main reason why some of our homeschool parents also homeschool their children, to have really a time to spend with their children, to pass on their values, their beliefs, and also to spend quality time with their children. Maraming salamat sa mga tips nyo. And for all of our audience, what is your personal tip to have a successful homeschool year? May mga tanong pa tayo. Sorry, nag-extend na tayo ng oras. Sabi dito, good evening. Paano po usually nagkakaroon ng interaction with other kids yung homeschooled students? O para sa mga nag-homeschool na, nandyan na, paano daw sila nagkakaroon ng interaction? From Daddy Jeffrey Falcone. Laxmi, may shinare ka, no? Homeschool communities.
Yeah, join the co-ops, mga homeschool communities po. Usually sa providers meron na eh. May kanya-kanyang ano na siya group, may kanya-kanyang community.
So,
O kaya you
naka-enroll
can
ka.
also, yeah,
Meron silang
there's
mga
co-op, yeah,
communities.
co-ops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-ops ang tawag.
And
And
then if you're
also,
an-
even outside, di ba, yung mga church-based or your friends or your families, kasi they're also part of the, ano eh, sa socialization ng mga kids. Not necessarily naman dapat school setup lahat eh. You can also join a community na outside, even within the family din, di ba?
Right, oo. Kasi kami din nung na nag-homeschool una, hindi ko alam kung paano mag-reach out. So meron din palang mga FB pages, or pwede ka rin mag-message doon sa mismong mag-comment ka doon. Any of you guys from Pasig City, o 'di ba? Pwedeng mag-meet up. Ayan. So pwedeng ganon. Like Gina, I think you did that, no? Nag-message ka lang. I mean, you throw yourself out there, and then maybe there are also other parents who are just like you, who wants to reach out and have, companions for their children, some interactions for their children. So yes, homeschool communities, co-ops, if you are with your provider, they also have that. And then
And
also
then
interactions.
Lenny,
Yes
yeah,
po.
Lenny, I just want to share. Kung halimbawa naman independent homeschooler ka, you really have to go out of your way and be intentional in reaching out to friends and then to members of the homeschooling community, kahit na para talaga magkaroon ka rin ng community. That's very important. So a community can be availed of not just from enrolling in a provider, but also by yourself, reaching out to others and trying to build one or trying to be part of one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies. So, marami pa dito na mga questions, and I think some of these questions we will be able to answer in our next episodes. I just want to make sure that the following mommies are acknowledged. Si Mami Misha says, it's our first time sa homeschool kapag maka-enroll ang mga anak ko. Sana matulungan po ako sa pagpili. I hope this episode was able to help you. And then if not, if you still have a lot of questions, please feel free to reach out and check all of our pages of our happy members. May mga QR codes po kami kanina na ipinakita. The passion of the speakers when talking about homeschooling, nakaka-touch at nakaka-inspire, lalo na for me on my first year of homeschooling. From Mami Kat Santos, maraming salamat po. And of course, from Mami April Marian Mir Gatbunton, any advice for parents working full-time on how to homeschool effectively? Aba, maybe yan yung next natin na episode, no? Paano kung full-time ka or part-time ka na mommy na nag-work? Effective pa rin ba na mag-homeschool? Maganda rin yan. Maraming salamat sa mga questions nyo at sa pag-join nyo sa amin. At we just want to make sure that we reach out to you with all of our hearts kung ano po yung ginagawa namin dito sa Happy, sa mga kasamahan ko dito, si Teacher Au, si Beday, si Gina, si Lakshmi, sa pag-share namin ng mga experiences namin. Sana po ay nakatulong sa inyo paano pagpili, paano pag mag-homeschool, at saka although we provide all of this information, I think we just want to remind our moms and dads, we also need to do our homework. We need to do research. We need to rethink, bakit tayo mag-homeschool? Kaya ko ba ito? Kasi kung hindi naman kailangan. Kasi again, homeschooling is a calling. Not everybody is called to homeschool. So I just want to make sure that when you make a choice, it's your choice, it's your rules, no? It's your freedom, it's your guidance, it's your flexibility, your accountability, it's your cost or your support. So the best choice is the one that best fits your family, your lifestyle, and your children's needs. So again, we want to thank Akda, Marcos, and Angel for our tech team. Wow! Meron tayong StreamYard dito, and that's being taken care of by Marcos and Angel of Akda Academy. And for our YouTube channel, which I think we will be posting in one of our comments here, for our past episodes, you may want to visit and subscribe to our Happy YouTube channel. We want to thank our guests, Laxmi and Gina. Maraming salamat sa inyo sa pag-share nyo ng time. Wow, inabot tayo ng 1 hour and 40 minutes. Pero ang saya ng kwento, di ba? Ngayon lang kami nakarinig ng indie or DIY at saka homeschool provider. So tamang-tama, perfect kayo na naging guest namin. Maraming salamat, Lakshmi and Gina. At saka, we would also like to make sure that for those who have joined us, we want to give you special giveaway prizes. And we would like to thank, of course, our guests, Gina and Lakshmi, for giving us these wonderful books, coloring activity books and living books from Living Learning and from Gopala. So, mag-choose po kami at magbibigay kami sa mga early bird commenters at saka sa mga nagbigay ng tips at saka ng mga nag-ask ng mga questions. We would like to say goodbye and make sure you have a great and happy weekend. This is Lenny.
This is Beday.
And this is Al.
Happy weekend! God bless
Happy
you guys. Marami pong
God bless.
salamat.
Saang dako ka man, galing mo'y di mabantayan. Inspirasyon mo ay ating inang bayan. Ang iyong dugo at pawis ang siyang tunay na puhunan. Kaya aking kabayan, dapat kang hangaan. Sa anumang larangan, lagi kang kumikinang, pagkat di tinatago taglay mong kakayahan. Sa palakasan, kagandahan, sayaw, awitan, modernong Pilipino, dapat kang parangalan. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino, saludo ako sa kahusayan mo. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino, saludo ako sa katapangan mo. Ako'y bilib sa'yo sa tatag na taglay mo. Angat ka sa iba pagkat ikaw ay Pilipino. Ako'y bilib sa'yo sa tatag na taglay mo. Angat ka sa iba pagkat ikaw ay Pilipino. Talino at abilidad, di ka pauli. Ang lahing Pilipino, di dapat isang tabi. Magandang katangian, umanang kayamanan, kamatang Pilipino, pag-asa ka ng bayan. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino, saludo ako sa kahusayan mo. Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino, saludo ako sa katapangan mo. Ano ang puso Isigaw mo ika'y Pilipino, saludo ako sa kahusayan mo. Isigaw